Hello, is this Mr. Gambino here with a new stream? And this stream will be going over the event week for this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. But yeah, starting off, the podium vehicle for the week is the Pegasus Russo. More details on that in a bit here. But I'll get my visitor bonus and then my wheel spin for the day. And then I'll explain it, like I usually do. $10,000 RP, whatever. Oh, I actually got a rank on there, okay. But yeah. But yeah, Podium Vehicle, like I said, Pegasus Russo, I believe it was from the Diamond Casino and Resort DLC. I think it's on the Diamond Casino Resort one. Okay, here it is, yeah, Pegasus Russo. But yeah, by getting the Pegasus Russo, you will be saving $1,925,000. And I'm very certain this is not a vehicle of a trade price. I'm pretty sure that's like the only price you will save. So yeah, it's kind of a costly one there, almost $2 million, and it is a supercar, not a sport car. And yeah, for the performance, going off of Bruffy 152 spreadsheet, which I traditionally use, is Russo. I recall having a 13th place lap time. I'm on the top speed section on my phone. But yeah, I recall it being a 13th place lap time, which is a couple placements beneath the top 10. And a lap time is its better performance, so yeah, none of its performance is above the top 10 for the supercar class, unfortunately. Of course, when it first released, it was probably pretty decent, but yeah, now it's within, like, beneath the top 10, which isn't really that great, I would say. If it's something's beneath the top 10, I kind of just don't think it's worth getting for performance at that point. And then, yeah, top speed is 21st place, so yeah, that's a 13th place lap time. 21st place top speed, going off a Bruffy 152 spreadsheet. But yeah. Customization, I don't necessarily really know if the customization would be that good. Obviously, I'd watch like a customization guide or something on like YouTube or something for that. Yeah, unfortunately, performance. Lap time is just a couple placements beneath top 10, so it was almost kind of competitive in a way, I suppose, but yeah. I just don't think it's worth getting for that performance. Though it is above average for both lap time and top speed, like it's above average in like the 40-ish, like between like the 40-ish vehicles in the supercar class, it's technically above average. Just yeah, a couple placements beneath top 10 for that lap time, just in my opinion, not too worth it. And yeah, premium race for the week is Crossing Paths for the Sport Classic class. And this is not one I'm necessarily very familiar with in terms of the classing, so I'll be going into number 1 lap time. I'll have to look into what number 1 lap time is. Most races tend to focus on lap time, so I'm just going to mention the number 1 lap time option. But yeah, if you want the number 1 lap time option for the Sport Classic class, it is the Turismo Classic, which is kind of like a 3D universe, like version of the like Turismo that's in GTA Online in a way. And yeah, I imagine it's only like a couple to few $100,000 for the Turismo Classics, and not very expensive. You could probably get the vehicle and its performance upgrade through literally one Cayo Perico heist. So probably like 1 hour investment, not bad at all. But again, number 1 lap time for the Sport Classic class goes to Turismo Classic. Time trial trial for the week is Stab City. Apparently go Stab City over to Vinewood Hills. Vinewood Hills, obviously, is like over here and whatnot. And yeah, probably gonna have a lap time in it, I imagine, with all these like roads in between and whatnot. So I'm mainly focused on the lap time. And yeah, I typically go over supercar class and motorcycles for a time trial. So yeah, if you want the number 1 lap time for a supercar, I'm pretty sure that goes to the Progen Emirates, which is like 2.7 to like 2.9 million, somewhere around there for the stock vehicle. Performance upgrades probably like low to mid 3 mil range, I imagine. So yeah, probably a couple hours worth of cow preco if you need to get the whole entire vehicle from like $0 or like a few $100,000, something like that. So it might be quite a time investment if you don't have that vehicle. For example, if you want the best possible like supercar for the time trial. However, I never really recommend using a supercar for a time trial, quite frankly. I always recommend using a motorcycle because it's not as spacious as like a supercar. It doesn't take up as much space. So it's way easier to avoid traffic because obviously traffic isn't really disabled on those. And yeah, number 1 lap time for the motorcycle class goes to the Nagasaki Shotaro, if I recall, which is like $2.3 million. By the way, for the update, the Emirates is like a Diamond Casino Resort DLC vehicle, just like the Saruso, so it's kind of around where that was for the like location where to find it on like the website. But yeah, Nagasaki Shotaro, $2.3 million, so probably like 2 to 3 hour worth of pre-con investment for that one. And yeah, that's an older vehicle from like late 2016 and the bikers update, so yeah, gotta go kind of a bit down for the Legendary Motorsport website for the Nagasaki Shotaro. And I think that's one of those rare vehicles you still have to unlock in the game just to be able to purchase it, not like a trade price, but to actually be able to purchase it. And I think you unlock Nagasaki Shotaro by playing them at the deadline, so if you haven't done that and you want the Nagasaki Shotaro available for purchase, though it is the number 1 lap time motorcycle, so it could be kind of worth picking up. And yeah, Nagasaki Shotaro, I think it's the only motorcycle in the game where I think you can link forward or backwards of the stick for that best possible speed, as if you're doing like a stoppie or a wheelie. And yeah, I think you get the most speed benefit if you do an actual wheelie or an actual stoppie. But even just doing it directly on the stick gets some sort of boost in speed, I believe. And then the one other motorcycle I would want to go over would be the Body 801. But yeah, Body 801 or a Body 801 RR works as well, because I believe they both have the same performance. The Body 801 is a number 3 lap time and a number 3 top speed, apparently. And that one's like 10,000, 9,000, or like 8,000 at like the way bottom of the San Andreas Super Sport website, whatever. Because it's from like day 1 of the game, it's a super cheap vehicle and whatnot. But yeah, Body 801 from day 1 of the game, it's the number 3 lap time top speed. So it's actually the best like average vehicle I would say you can use in a time trial in this day and age in the game. Sometimes after the last couple years, you can no longer use like rocket boosted vehicles and stuff in time trials, like you could a couple years ago when the payout was like 50,000. Since it's been 100,000, I think they restricted the ability to use rocket boosted vehicles. But yeah, and that one like. And yeah, with the Body 801, like with most of the motorcycles in the game, we have to lean backward with the stick as if you're doing like a wheelie for that best possible speed. So that should explain the time trial. RCB and Dito time trial, I'm just going to really say what it is, for the most part, and give it like recommendations too, for like what channels could have some good advice out there. But yeah. RC Bandito time trials back to the very first one, being construct on Site 1. But yeah, personally, I do actually have a guide for Construction Site 1, but yeah. I'm not the greatest at like making guides for time trials. When I did my few like time trial guides for RC Mandated time trials, I like to go in a lot of detail personally, which isn't necessarily the most necessary thing, but yeah. I do have a guide out there for it, but yeah. A channel I would probably recommend for those guides, I don't watch it myself, but the channel has almost 200,000 subscribers, I think. There's a channel known as like GK Men. He tends to have really, I imagine, pretty good time trial guides for both regular and RC Bandito time trials. And I think there's GK series as well, the GK series videos, but they don't commentate, they just like show off the time trials, but if you like look at it carefully, you might be able to learn from it regardless. So that's a couple channel recommendations if you want to look at the RC Bandito time trial, like guide obviously for the time trial. But quite frankly, I kind of just recommend kind of doing it over and over because they're designed to be failed. They're designed to be failed, so I recommend just doing it over and over yourself and learn it yourself. Maybe be able to like remember it better than if you were to watch like a video or something. But yeah, hard to really give advice on this one stream. There's only the one option, a vehicle or RC Bandito. And like the only thing for the most part I think you can do to really increase speed, I think is like doing jump boosts over and over in like a straight line and stuff. And that's not like all that possible in a lot of circumstances. So I'd probably just recommend watching like some video guide out there. Yeah, I guess I'll just bring this little 2000 here real quick, or not. And yeah, like I've been doing recently, I'm kind of showing off my like Benny's vehicle collection, because I showed off all my like 10 tuner vehicles within like the first like bunch of like weeks for the DLC, obviously, so I've kind of moved on to showing Benny vehicles. And this time I'm choosing to show off the Fappuccino Custom. And yeah, I went like a green theme for it because I kind of made it like a Grove Street ride. I kind of made it like a ride for like the Grove Street families and all that. So I kind of went for like a Grove Street kind of lowrider kind of vehicle here. Not sure why. I don't know, I think it's like a name for like some pants or something, so I figured like there's green pants out there. I figured I might as well just use that as an excuse to make like a Grove Street vehicle or something, I don't know. I think I want some like gold pinstripe livery on it. Usually I go like the white bottom liveries, but I wanted to kind of be more creative with the livery choice this time around rather than mainly choosing the bottom one. I don't know, usually I like the bottom liveries the most. But certain vehicles, I kind of hate the bottom liveries. I like the white bottom, they're like a list of liveries. I don't know, it's kind of all I can think of saying for this vehicle. I'm not the most like car enthusiastic like person out there or anything. Oh, come on, really? And yeah, I got the mint green colored headlights. I've been putting colored headlights on a lot of vehicles in the last like month or two. Since I've been grinding like Paprika Heist and stuff in the last like month or two. But I think this is like the 5th lowrider I've showed off, like Benny's vehicle I've shown off recently. And yeah, this starts the part where I'm mainly in the like car meet for the majority of the stream, at least, maybe even the rest of the stream even. Because for the most part, I can kind of just stick in the car meet to talk about the rest of the stuff and like boss menus and stuff. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the test rides. I don't think any test rides are on discount or anything, but I suppose if someone tests something out and might like kind of be interested, I might as well kind of explain some things I kind of remember. And quite frankly, I think all the vehicles on the test track this time are actually pretty good performance for the tuner class, at least. There's only been one test ride vehicle they've ever done so far, which was like the Oslo Pariah, like a couple few weeks back. That was not a tuner vehicle. But yeah, I really hope to see them do more like non-tuner vehicles in the future. I don't know why they did like the Pariah a couple few weeks back, and then they go back to doing like all tuners again. Like at least throw like one oddball like per week. I feel that would be pretty cool, but whatever. But yeah, P-Fisher Growler. P-Fisher Growler, I think it's kind of least best in a way between his three. Because I think the Vector and the Jester are number one in a single place in their like tuner subclass, which I'll explain later. But I think the Growler is above average for both lap time and top speed, though, if I recall, for the P-Fisher Growler here. It's not as good for top speed as the Comet S2, though, as long as you have like low grip tires and you lower the vehicle for the Comet S2. So P-Fisher Comet S2 is actually the number one top speed if you're using low grip tire and lowered setup, I believe. But yeah, P-Fisher Growler is still above average, I think, for both lap time top speed for the tuner subclass. And yeah, the spreadsheet I use doesn't really have the tuner subclass on it, mainly just like the main classes in the game. So I kind of have to go off of memory for the tuner class, by the way, but still, I remember these vehicles kind of well in a way. But yeah, the Dinka Jester RR, this is actually kind of the best tuner vehicle in terms of like general performance outside of like the coupe class, the sedan class, and like the muscle car class. Muscle car class, the coupe class, and the sedan class. Tuner vehicles in that class can perform somewhat decent in those classes, but for the sport cars, or like the 12 tuner sport cars, not a lot of them are even in like the top 10 anywhere for like their main sport class, which is kind of bad for general performance. But yeah, I believe this thing's like an 8th place. I think this one's like an 8th place for top speed, I think, for the general sport class. And for the tuner class, it's actually the number one top speed, if you don't account for like low grip tires and like lowered setup and stuff like that. So if you're looking for top speed in like more of a racing situation, not for like free mode, then the Jester RR is kind of the number one for the top speed for the tuner subclass. For like street races, pursuit races, for those like long straights or anything. So yeah, in certain classes, it can definitely. And certain races for the street and pursuit races might have some kind of advantage over other ones. I don't exactly remember what the lap time is, but the top speed's pretty decent. So that alone, I think, makes it a pretty good pickup. Best of the sport tuners, I would say, in terms of the general performance, as I mentioned as well. But yeah, the Emperor Vector. The Emperor Vector, this one's actually super good in lap time. I believe this is like 2nd or 3rd place lap time between the 17 tuner vehicles in the tuner subclass, which is pretty damn good. It did end up getting dethroned though by the Sultan RS Classic. Sultan RS Classic ended up dethroning the Emperor Vector though. And yeah, the Emperor Vector for top speed, I know the top speed's not that great. It's one of the worst for top speed though in the tuner subclass. But yeah, the Sultan RS Classic is a better lap time though, and then the top speed for the Sultan RS Classic is actually pretty average, even though it has number one lap time. So you're probably definitely much better off with a Sultan RS Classic, I would say. But still, Emperor Vector is still pretty good for lap time, and lap time is like super good for most races, because obviously most races have corners in them. So I think for sure that these two especially can be kind of good pickups if you feel you test drive them and you like them or something. And I think the Growler is technically pretty above average for the tuner subclass. So it kind of can't go wrong with the Growler either, but it's definitely not going to be as good as these two, I would say. And then the Prize Ride. This is a duplicate prize ride though, kind of. It's been a prize ride in the past. Obviously, like the paint job and like delivery and stuff on it could be different compared to the first time, but still it has technically been a prize ride before. But since they super love their tuner vehicles, I guess it's not too shocking. I feel if anything, there might have been like one vehicle that might have not been a like prize right yet. That's a tuner. But still, I would really like to see them start doing some non-tuners. I feel in the test track. They did one time with the Pariah, like I mentioned, but still, I'd like to see that more often. And yeah, especially for prize ride, I think it would be nice for them to change it up finally with a non-tuner vehicle. But anyways, the prize ride this time around is the Dominator GTT. Dominator GTT, that's one of the two muscle tuner vehicles in the game. And it's actually the lesser of the two muscle cars for the tuner class. So if you just want one of the two muscle cars in the tuner class, this is the worst performing one. So if you just want one of the muscle cars, I don't really recommend it too much for the tuner subclass, because the ASP is quite better, I would say, compared to the GTT. But still, just being one of the few tuner vehicles that is not a sport car, I feel not enough is like a good enough reason to get it, I would say, quite frankly. But yeah, the prize ride challenge this time around for it, compared to last time I think it was a prize ride, is not that good though. And it's placed top 1. And it's placed top 1 in the LS Car Meet Series race for 3 days in a row. So not only do you have to win the race that you do, you also have to do it 3 days in a row. Which for the GTT, I feel that's too much effort for the GTT. Like I said, it's the worst of the two tuner muscle cars in the game, so it's not something I would say that's really too worth doing it for. I definitely think the first challenge when the GTT was a prize ride beforehand was definitely way better. I forget what exactly it was, but I did manage to get it in that previous prize ride challenge. But I just don't feel the like amount of like effort you have to put in this one is all that worth it. Like yeah, if you like do a street race, but yeah, street races are 2 players, and if you do it with like one friend and your friend lets you win, and then you let your friend win, that's a pretty good way to guarantee this challenge. If you do like 2-player street races, let your friend win and then they let you win or something like that, that's a pretty good setup if you want to easily do this challenge technically. But still, like I said, it does require more dedication than the previous challenge that was available for the Dominator GTT every time around, which I don't think had any days in a row. I think it was just like winning, or not winning, it was like participating in a certain amount of street races or something, I forget. But yeah, I think the challenge is definitely worse this time around. And yeah, second, it's definitely the worst of the 2 muscle cars, like I mentioned. I think the ASP, for example, not like actual muscle car class, I'm not talking about the tuner subclass. I think the ASP is like number 1 for lap time or something. I don't know if this one's number 1 anywhere in the muscle car class compared to like the tuner subclass. Obviously, being a muscle car is one of the lesser like tuner subclass vehicles. And I think the ASP for a muscle car for the tuner subclass actually has some pretty average performance. So yeah, I think you're kind of going to get some below average performance on this one. So yeah, especially for the effort that they want you to put in it, I just don't think it's worth it. You might as well just do the 1 or 2 Cayo Perico heists you need to do. Like literally you can do like 2-hour investment and basically get the whole vehicle and then the customizations of a trade price at least. So it's not hard to get, just playing the game anyways. But that's my opinions on the prize ride this time around and its challenge and whatnot. But yeah, I didn't really talk about the title yet because I was talking about other things for the stream, but yeah. As the stream title suggests, the Diamonds have returned to the Diamond Casino Resort for the Diamond Casino Heist. And yeah, the Diamonds, you're not guaranteed diamonds. Maybe you're like first time, if you've never got the diamonds before, you might be guaranteed it for like your first time. But after that, it's obviously a chance to be able to get the diamond diamonds, you're not guaranteed to get it after the first time. So yeah, you kind of do gotta get lucky to get the diamonds multiple times and whatnot. So because of that randomness, I kind of don't feel the Diamond Casino Heist is necessarily going to be as worth it as like the original heists even. What they did with the original heist was pretty nice because all of them were double, even though like all but one of them was like 4 players aside from like, the Felicia job. Doomsday Heist had started getting kind of annoying because they only did Act 3 on double, and then Act 1 and 2 was just regular, but they still wanted you doing all the finales for like 500,000, which was really annoying. But yeah, for the quote-unquote heist month, they kind of ruined it, I feel, starting with the Doomsday Heist one, not having all 3 of the Doomsday Heists on double. Really dumb decision, in my opinion. They've done it just fine before. They did in Act 2 and like Act 1 double just fine before, and you would think they would have done that for a quote-unquote heist month, but they didn't. And yeah, for Diamond Casino Heist, I wasn't really expecting like double value on all like the main like target, like the targets that you have to get or whatever for like the cash, the artwork, gold, and obviously the diamonds that are temporarily available for the event week. I wasn't expecting all those to be like doubled or anything, but yeah. Personally, I would kind of just wait for the Kyle Perico one, quite honestly. However, though, the Diamond Casino Heist is the second best heist, I would say, in the game. Reason being is it doesn't have any of those like super annoying like prep like setup missions or whatever that you have to go into like separate lobbies for. But yeah, the original heist and Doomsday Heist does have some really super annoying like setup missions that you have to do in like separate lobbies. And yeah, I gotta invite like players and stuff like that, like the lobby screen and whatnot. You don't really have any of that aside for the actual like finale, obviously, which is quite nice. That's where they kind of made it where you can do most of the heist like solo. You still want to do the actual finale with another player, but still, yeah. Even with randoms, you can kind of do pretty well for aggressive and even BidCon if you get a pretty decent random. So even with randoms, it's kind of doable to do the Diamond Casino Heist, I would say. Or obviously, if you have that, like, if you have like one really good friend, obviously, and then you can go back to back with them and stuff like that. That could probably be pretty good as well. But yeah, obviously I recommend doing like the 3 mode prep stuff solo, and then obviously the finale you need that 1 extra person. And yeah, Diamond Casino Heist, there's a couple really good strategies I would say for that one. One is go out the way where there's like the horse track. You want to go the way of the horse track because I believe the police vehicles can spawn on like the horse track. You can steal like a police vehicle and then you can like drive over the fence and whatnot. You can easily get out in there instead of like climbing all over the place and whatnot. Going on like the highway or something. And yeah, stealing that police vehicle on the horse track, you know, they're past the fence, whatever. You can probably either go underground and lose the cops, which takes a couple minutes, or there's a building pretty close by, I believe, where you can get a police helicopter, which is super helpful. I would say either getting a police helicopter or losing the cops on the ground in like the sewers and whatnot. Those are probably the best couple strategies for completing the finale, as long as you can get past the main finale. And yeah, if you mainly want to play with randoms or something, I recommend doing aggressive, and then I would recommend going back and forth if you play with randoms between aggressive and then big con group stacks. But yeah, big con group stacks, that one you can do a lot of the heist without getting detected as long as you do it right, and maybe even the whole entire thing if you do it properly, which isn't even hard from my experience with a random even, as long as they're decent or something. And yeah, aggressive, obviously, that's like the easiest one. You can go all like guns blazing and stuff. But if you're playing with a friend, I would probably do like group stacks big con and maybe like silent and sneaky instead of the aggressive. That way you're not like losing money and whatnot. So I recommend either going back and forth between like aggressive and big con group stacks, whatever. Or the big con group stacks and like the silent and sneaky. I would go back and forth between those two. because you have to go back and forth between attempts, I believe, for the hard mode, if I recall. So if you want that hard mode, I think you have to go back and forth between a couple different attempts. So I think that's the best way to go about the Diamond Casino Heist, if I recall. If I recall, indeed. So hopefully that explains the Diamond Casino Heist pretty well. I don't know the exact chances of the diamonds. I don't know if much of anyone really does. But yeah, I feel the chance would have to be kind of decent considering that they're only available for the 1 week. I would at least hope so. But yeah, whether you get diamonds or not, it definitely could be a kind of nice event for sure. But yeah, you're only really going to get that extra money if you get the diamonds. It's not like Doomsday Scenario and then like the original heist where you get the double money no matter what. You have to have that percent chance that you have to get lucky to get the diamonds again and again. So yeah, the only way you really get extra money is with the diamonds, which sucks, but yeah. Better than nothing after all, like with Act 1 and Act 2 of Doomsday Heist, the last event week, which was complete trash. And yeah, now we gotta see what else I gotta talk about here. Okay, I wanna see if I can call Agatha Baker or whatever here. I might have to go outside to show it off, kind of. It's not gonna show like an icon or anything, but yeah. But yeah. Request work for the casino work here. You get 2 times money in RP on casino work. Casino work, you get like a slight bit of money. You don't necessarily get that much money, and then you also get casino chips, which you could also convert to money. Or obviously you can use the casino chips for the casino store. But I'll kind of go into that a bit later when going into like the discounts. But there is a discount for like casino store clothing and stuff like that, so it could be something kind of worth considering. Since it's kind of the funnest way to get casino chips, I would say, for the casino work, rather than like doing the gambling and stuff where you can lose a lot of chips and stuff like that if you're unlucky and whatnot. I'd say the request work is definitely the funnest way to get the casino chips. But yeah. It's apparently only 2 times money RP though. It doesn't seem you get extra like casino chips or anything through it, no. But yeah. Nice little incentive, I suppose, to do that now.
Okay, where was I?
You were leaving, that's where you were. But yeah. Casino work does a lot of different missions and stuff, so it's hard to like explain exactly with every single mission or anything, but yeah. I'd say just mainly do it for the casino chips, which there's not really anything going on for that anyways. Money isn't that much, I would say, on those, and that's really worth doing over and over again. I get better off probably doing the heists, obviously. And yeah. I think the rest of the couple money opportunities are all in the pause menu though, it looks like. I guess I'll start with the casino story missions here. But casino story missions are on a 2 times money in RP, but yeah. Unfortunately, I feel the casino missions really aren't that worth doing even for double money, but yeah. Casino missions, they're some of the hardest story missions in the entire game, or not story missions, not all of them are story missions, but these are story missions. Honestly, the casino missions make out a pretty fun story the first time around, at least. And if you haven't done it yet, you're going to get extra money for like the regular payout. If you haven't done them yet, then there's actually awards you can also do, by the way, for the like. But if you haven't done them, definitely do them, because there's the award section where you can get a good bit of money. Like, those are like 2,000, that's like 200,000 on that one row alone. 250, like 350, 850, if you do them all in order. Which I think you pretty much have to if you're a host, if I recall. Without losing a life, for one casino story mission gets you another 50,000 for like 900. All casino story missions as a crew member will actually get you another 100,000. So that's like maybe $1 million at that point. And yeah, these are one time only, obviously, by the way, for the awards. And yeah, all of them as a leader for 100,000 and bonus item, that's 1.1 million, plus you get like a cool armored, like weaponized vehicle as well that you can only get through the casino story missions. And there's also some money rewards for like the casino missions here as well. So if you don't want to necessarily do them all that much for the casino work missions, if you don't have like all the awards here for the like money, then I feel that's worth doing it for. So you can make some pretty decent money for the casino missions if you haven't done them a single time yet. But yeah, remember that's for like one time only though, so yeah, you only get to do that one time. And yeah, the double money payout, the normal payout on like the casino missions, I think maxes out at like 17,000 or something like that if I remember when I did my contact mission. I did my contact mission content episode for the casino story missions, and I think I recall the highest payout being like a 17,000 something. So I think the like actual double payout would be like 34,000, not counting like the awards, because those aren't double, those are just like one time only thing you can do. That's like extra kind of. But yeah, probably want to make like 35,000 from these. Not necessarily that great. What up? And then these diamond adversary modes are triple. But yeah, the adversary modes, not really necessarily worth doing, I would say, either. However, there's a nice variety, at least with these modes, which is quite fun. It's not like Drop Zone here, where you're limited to like one mode. And yeah, Drop Zone seems to be on double. So some nice adversary mode stuff if you want some like fun things to play. But it's not for hardcore money making. And I think that might be all the money opportunities. Some clothing stuff you can unlock here. In addition, by completing the Diamond Casino Heist finale anytime from now to the end of the event week, you will get your hands on the red Diamond Classic Tee. And yeah, and the event week goes till November 24th. So just typical 1 week event week, not like Red Dead, which is a 2-week one right now. And yeah, you'll get that red like Diamond Tee 72 hours after logging in on December 2nd, which I believe makes December 5th when you would receive the red diamond like t-shirt, whatever. So I think they've given that out before, I think through like some casino like guest list thing or something if I recall before. So they've given it out before, so it's not new. I think it's more for those who haven't like earned it before. And yeah, that's just for completing a simple Diamond Casino Heist finale for that clothing item. There's another clothing thing for you get for playing Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. And this is the big like clothing thing from the Grand Theft Auto 3 clothing things for the 20-year anniversary. But yeah, to qualify for the iconic Liberty City Penitentiary coveralls, playing any title from the Trilogy Definitive Edition and log into play anytime before the 25th, so basically the end of the event week. The coveralls will be added to the wardrobe within 72 hours of December 2nd again, so basically December 5th, I believe. And players must have previously connected all titles to the social club. Count to qualify. For me, the social club thing was automatically linked, I believe, for all 3 games. So if you have it linked to one game, it's probably already linked to all 3 games. I don't recall having to set it up at all. I think it was automatically linked. So basically, as long as you play any other Rockstar title, you're probably already linked and ready to go. Sounds like you just gotta play at least one of the titles for the most part. I'd probably start up all 3 titles, just start the beginning missions a little bit, just to be safe, I would say. Because definitely wouldn't want to miss out on the rare Liberty City Penitentiary coveralls. Not really worth $60 for that definitive edition, though, I would say, with how buggy and stuff ended up being and whatnot. But yeah, pretty cool clothing thing you can get. Just kind of a shame the way they're doing it, making it buy a $60 buggy mess at the moment. But yeah, they made a thing claiming that they're going to be fixing it and whatnot, but yeah. Who knows how long that will take. And quite honestly, it's a shame they even released it in the broken state it was. I keep having crashes in Grand Theft Auto 3. Had a couple crashes when doing paramedics, and then on my last part I was doing taxi, and I crashed on the 83rd taxi thing, and the game literally crashed on me. And then my stream ended, obviously, because you can't stream the whole menu on the PS5. But yeah, they did make a newswire, and then they're going to be fixing it and stuff. I might be talking about that on the next part of the walkthrough, which probably will be later today since it's early Saturday now. Maybe late Saturday I'll do it my time. But yeah, I definitely can't wait for that clothing to come out. There's also a free Bravado Banshee livery. And you just simply log in for that one. You don't have to earn it like you do for the other 2 clothing things I mentioned. But yeah, for the Banshee livery, anyone who plays GTA Online for the week will get the Weekend Racer livery. For the Bravado Banshee, you can actually get a preview of it if you want, though. You don't have to look at it in GTA Online. I think they're actually all available in the story mode, including the upcoming liveries for the Banshee. So if you want to see all the Banshee liveries are actually in the story mode, believe it or not. So that's a way you can check them all out. But yeah, any liveries they give out are free anyways. It's kind of worth doing it in the online, I would say. As long as you got a Banshee, otherwise it's only 100,000 at most, I think. And then there's a free vehicle you can also get this week as well. Okay, that was weird. Those images didn't want to load there for a moment, but yeah. The Bugstar burrito is actually free for the event week if you want one for any reason. Normally almost 600,000 with a trade price, assuming it has a trade price, which I kind of think it does. But yeah, normally 600,000, but you can get it for free. So I think you can have it a friend drive a Bugstar burrito where they spawn in the story mode. I think they spawn in the story mode kind of over here or something. So if you have a friend that has one, I think they can just drive one over here, and then you can take one over to a mod shop, since I guess the free mode value of it's under 100,000, so it's not too hot. So it's not too hot to modify in a Santos Customs or something. But still, might as well get one for free if you want one whatsoever. So definitely make sure you get a Bugstar burrito if you want one. And then there's actually a car meet reputation 2 times. So if you want some extra reputation, there's an easy way you can do that, kind of. It's not the way I recommend doing 2 times reputation, though. But yeah, sprint. If you have other players you can invite over to a sprint, then you can actually get double reputation for the sprints. So a nice little extra incentive to get sprints. But I wouldn't really recommend it. It's not really not worthwhile of a 2 times reputation thing, in my opinion, to be worth doing them. But yeah, that's 2 times car meet rep on sprints, which that's basically like the races you do with other players outside of the like car meet, obviously. It's like those races you can do to like the court center, like Vinewood Hills and stuff like that, whatever location the game gives you, essentially. You basically go point A to point B, and then you do point B back to point A, which would be the car meet, obviously. So basically those races are 2 times rep right now. The reputation level thing that just popped up, obviously, is what I mean. The car meet rep, not the, like, rep, not the rank reputation there, but the car meet one. And yeah, 2 times my RPM drop zone, already mentioned that one. Alright, I think I just have the discounts left to talk about here. And that should do it for this event week stream. By the way, I don't think I mentioned yet on this stream, but Red Online has a 2-week event week right now. Or maybe I did. But yeah, that's why I'm doing a GTA event week, and I haven't done a Reddit one yet, because it's just the same one, aside from me, like the weekly collection and other small stuff like that, as the week before for Red Dead. So yeah, Red Dead did not get a full new event week or anything. But yeah, there's 40% off the casino store. All clothes in the casino store are 40% off, which is quite nice. So that's less casino chips you have to spend for the clothing at the casino store, so definitely could be quite worth doing. And quite frankly, I don't recommend using like actual casino chips. I kind of recommend just getting a bunch of cash. I would probably recommend just getting a bunch of cash fruit, Kyle Perico, and then converting it over to chips. Since he has like a 1-to-1 conversion, I believe, for like the cash to chips. So yeah, I just recommend kind of doing Kyle Perico, Heist, and using that money for chips, rather than gambling, having a like huge chance of losing chips, and maybe barely any chance of actually gaining a good bit of chips. And then there is a property discount, and then also the renovations. That's on this website. But yeah, the master penthouse, as well as its upgrades and modifications, are all 35% off. But yeah, the master penthouse itself is obviously the actual property that you need. I think you need the master penthouse in order to like host the Endowment Casino like story missions, which are on like double money right now, so definitely worth getting for that. Plus I don't know, maybe you kind of need it for the Endowment Casino heist. I wouldn't know, since technically that story kind of ties into the heists. I'm not exactly sure. Lounge area doesn't really sound all that worth it necessarily, if you're just going for like bare minimum stuff. Media room lets you like watch free movies, which that's kind of barely worth it, but still better than having to go to like the cinema, spending like $40-$50 or something small like that. And then you can also play the Don't Cross the Line, but you can also play that in like the CEO office. The spa, you can get free haircuts, which in my opinion, haircuts for free, if you change it a lot, definitely can be quite nice. Otherwise, not necessary. Bar and party hub. Gets you 2 arcade games, which, yeah, at the time was exclusive, but you can now get the arcade from the Diamond Casino Heist as of the last couple years now. So yeah, this isn't the only property anymore with these arcade games anymore. The Invade vs. Wade one and like the Street Crimes King War, I think were the first 2, I believe. But yeah, those are now at the arcades. They're not really too worth it anymore. Private dealer. Depending on your region, you will not be able to get the private dealer though. Obviously, due to like gambling laws and stuff like that. So if you have the private dealer available for you, then depending on your like region and stuff, then yeah, this is definitely one of the better ones I would say to get. Since obviously it lets you play certain stuff in your own like penthouse, which is pretty cool. But yeah, definitely can be quite nice. The office. That's how you get the gun locker, and then the safe in this property is by getting the office. But yeah, might as well just get like the actual office from like a couple years back from like 2016, because this is like a 2019 property here. And yeah, some properties automatically come with a safe. Well, the safe is kind of just a little cosmetic thing. But yeah, for the gun locker, some properties already come with a gun locker, like as standard. You don't have to like actually buy anything for the gun locker. I think for the nightclub, it comes with the gun locker automatically. So it's not really too worth getting this for a gun locker, I would say, which is kind of the best thing worth getting it for. Extra bedroom, not really something that's all that worth getting, I imagine. And yeah, the garage, obviously, lets you store 10 more vehicles, so obviously I recommend that. And yeah, 35% off the colors and like the patterns as well, obviously, which are the more cosmetic things. Yeah, hopefully that explains the floor plan stuff. But yeah, really the 2 that are most worth getting is the private dealer if you're allowed to get it in your region, if you don't have like gambling laws to deal with. And if you do have gambling laws to deal with, I think there's like ways to get like a VPN or something. I think I hear that's the way to get around that if you're in a country that has it like outlawed or something. And yeah. So yeah, this and then the garage are definitely the 2 most worthy renovations, I would say. And the spot is like a third kind of runner-up, I would say, is a kind of worthwhile one to get. If you're just going for some bare minimum stuff. But yeah, all that's 35% off at the moment for the event week. Which makes sense, obviously, because it ties into like the casino story missions and stuff, so it makes a lot of sense for the event week being Diamond Casino Heist themed. And also some Diamond Casino Resort stuff in there too. And yeah, I guess I'll check on the stream right now. Alright. Just wanted to see if the person rated or anything. For any reason, I don't know why. But yeah, vehicle discounts, I think, are the only other discounts left at this moment. I think everything else in terms of discounts was already covered. I just gotta like look at the vehicle list and see where to start here. Doesn't look like there's anything on the arena. I don't seem to see anything for Benny's either. Nothing really seems to be on Elitist. Legendary seems to be the first discount website this time around. And yeah, a lot of discounts this time are just like civilian vehicles. I think there's only like one weaponized one in here. Whereas I think the last event we got a lot of weaponized discounts. So it's mainly just civilian stuff this time. But yeah. Starting off, the Progen PR4. Progen PR4, instead of being 3,515,000, is 2,109,000. and that is a 40% off discount. In fact, all of the vehicle discounts are 40% off this time. They don't like bounce back and forth between percentages this time around, so all vehicle discounts are 40%. So I don't think I'll necessarily try to mention that again. And yeah, I'll go into the performance of them on roughly 1322's like spreadsheet that I use. So obviously credit goes to that YouTuber I just mentioned, obviously, which I'll probably try to mention throughout, just in case, just so people don't forget or anything. But yeah, the PR4. Now the way the open wheel vehicles work is that they actually have free performances, and it depends on their like downforce setup or something. But yeah, the PR4 on a mid downforce setup is 4th place. PR4 on a minimum downforce setup is 5th for a lap time, and then yeah, PR4 is 10th place lap time on a maximum downforce setup. So best downforce setup like performance for the PR4 is 4th place between the 12 places, because there's like 4 open wheel vehicles times 3, that's 12. So yeah, best lap time one would be for mid downforce on the PR4. And then going into top speed for all 3 top speeds for the PR4. A minimum downforce setup on the PR4 is 5th place. It's 9th place top speed for a mid downforce setup. And then it's 12th place between the 12 performances of the open wheel class. It's 12th place top speed on a max downforce setup. So in my opinion, the best downforce setup would probably be a mid downforce setup for the PR4, whatever counts as a mid downforce setup. I'm just going off the spreadsheet. I don't necessarily know how you get those different downforce setups for the vehicles though. But it's not in the top couple placements anywhere, so I probably wouldn't necessarily get it necessarily for the open wheel class. Though there is only 4 vehicles, so it's hard to say that any of them wouldn't be all that competitive, to say the least. So it could still be kind of useful for open wheel races, because there's only 4 vehicles in the class. But at the same time, it doesn't place in the top 3 anywhere in the open wheel class, so it's hard to say it's not worth it for the open wheel races. The Rampant Rocket. This one I believe is a motorcycle, believe it or not. So I have to go to it on like the spreadsheet I'm using from Review 1322. But yeah, the Rampant Rocket for lap time for the motorcycle class is 27th place. And Rampant Rocket for top speed is 39th place. But yeah, I think both its performances are like below average for the motorcycle class, which yeah, most motorcycles obviously aren't as huge as the Rampant Rocket here. This might literally be like the hugest motorcycle in the game. So yeah, you didn't really expect much performance in terms of this motorcycle here. But yeah, it's a cool, huge, very unique, big like motorcycle in the game, so that's the one cool thing about it. But yeah, it's just cosmetic stuff essentially. Another couple discounts here, the ENS Paragon R and this S80RR. But yeah, the Paragon R, I do actually have a review on the regular and the like armored Paragon R. I do actually have a review and guide video on the regular and armored versions here. And again, the armored one is the one you get for the casino story missions. And it's in the sport class. I have to get to it in the like spreadsheet I'm using on my phone. But yeah, the regular Paragon R 8th place for lap time, and then the regular Paragon R is 12th place for top speed. So it is within the top 10 for lap time, so it is kind of worth getting, I suppose. if you're fine with like okay to decent performance, but not like in a top couple for lap time. So it's an okay buy, I suppose. Especially for 543,000 and 905, you can already get that and its performance upgrade for one Kyle Perico Heist. And then the S80RR, I believe that's a supercar. And I have to get to on this spreadsheet, on the 1322 spreadsheet I use. But yeah, the S80RR for lap time is 4th place. And for top speed, okay, I gotta see where it is for top speed. Okay, top speed is 27th place. But yeah, this is 4th place in lap time and then 27th place top speed for the supercar class. 27th place for top speed would actually be below average for the supercar class, so the top speed is below average. But the lap time being 4th place, that's in the top few for a lap time for the supercar class. And lap time is more useful, I would say, than top speed, because lots of racetracks have corners, obviously. So yeah. And it's a one-seater supercar, which is pretty unique. I think it's like the only one-seater supercar in the game, actually. So it has that uniqueness of being a one-seater supercar, which is pretty fun. And then, yeah, it's 4th place for lap time, which is in the top few. So I think these two are kind of decent buys still, I would say, for the, like, civilian vehicles on this event week. This one can even be kind of good for the event week as well. It can kind of be a good buy considering there's only 4 open wheel vehicles in the game, so it still can be slightly competitive. But yeah, this one I definitely don't recommend. Aside for like customizations and stuff like that. I don't recommend it for performance though, obviously. I think that might be it for this website. Chameleon's not on discount, just glitched up at the moment. And yeah, they did remove the Prime Gaming stuff, but I don't think they added any new stuff. I think the Sanctus is still on Prime Gaming for free, I think, for the Sanctus. But they did get rid of the Z-Type, and I think the Bezra was the other Prime Gaming thing, they removed those. But I don't think they added any new Prime Gaming stuff, so yeah, just the Sanctus still. But I went over the Sanctus like a few weeks ago, so I'm not gonna really go over it again. This is that like very Halloween themed bike, which is a super limited vehicle, so I would take advantage of it if you have Prime Gaming and you haven't took advantage of it yet. And yeah, there's probably just one vehicle, I'm guessing, on this website. Aside for the Bugstar Burrito, which is the free vehicle, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I think just Invade and Persuade Tank on this one, aside for the free Bugstar Burrito. And yeah, that's just glitched up at the moment, and goes for the Buzzard, I believe, as well, yeah. Those two aren't actually on discount, just glitched up or something. But yeah, this one's actually a free vehicle, as I mentioned earlier in the stream. It's ironic, too, that they put the Bugstar Burrito on discount, considering the Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy to the Fan Edition. It makes them actually literally look like Bugstar with that Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy to the Fan Edition, though. Like literally, and they're literally Bugstar after releasing that version of the game. But yeah, Invade and Persuade Tank 40% off makes it, instead of 2,275,000, it's 1,365,000. I do not believe there is a trade price for this, so I think it's the only price it has. But yeah, Evade and Persuade Tank have a whole entire review and guide on this vehicle, and obviously there's other ones out there as well. But yeah, it has 3 weapon options. It has the stock machine gun, which I don't recommend. Stock machine gun, there's a better version of it. And actually, I think it has 4 weapons, actually. The stock machine gun that comes at standard, I don't recommend that at all. It has a flamethrower. Flamethrower is only like close range, so you have to be really close range, so you have a good chance of blowing yourself up when blowing up other things with the flamethrower. There's one of 2 vehicles with the flamethrower combined with the Cerberus. But considering the Cerberus has to have the flamethrower, and this one has it as an option, I recommend the Cerberus. I recommend the Cerberus Arena vehicle if you want a vehicle with a flamethrower on it. And then a rocket launcher. Rocket launcher, I think, is definitely the second best weapon, though I think it takes a couple shots, even with the rocket launcher, to like destroy a simple civilian vehicle. Because yeah, I think they were probably worried about it being too overpowered if it could destroy a civilian vehicle with 1 rocket. For an RC tank of all things. Obviously a big vehicle, that's fine, and a vehicle with like no explosive resistance and stuff, that's kind of fine, but yeah. But the rocket launcher, I'd say, definitely the second best weapon, but the rocket launcher on it's pretty disappointing compared to most vehicles. And then, yeah. Then it has the plasma cannon. And in my opinion, the plasma cannon is the best weapon that it has, since it's basically a faster rate of fire, like machine gun that comes on its stock. So it's basically a better version of its stock machine gun for the plasma cannon. And in my opinion, that's definitely the most worthwhile one to get. I think it goes to like further ranges as well compared to the regular machine gun. But yeah, the weaponry is kind of nice to mess around with and whatnot, but yeah. You can't really make much of any money with this vehicle though, believe it or not. I think the only way you can make money with this vehicle is if like the interaction menu like glitches out and it lets you put like CO like work. If it lets you put like VIP work and stuff, if the like interaction menu glitches out, I think that's the only way you can really make money with the Invade and Persuade tank. Like literally the game I think has to kind of glitch out with the interaction menu. If you want to make like money with the Invade and Persuade tank, it's kind of sad. So yeah, quite the investment, but you can't really make your money back much with this vehicle, so in my opinion, if you want to collect all the weaponized stuff, definitely get it. But if you don't care for all the weaponized vehicles in this game, then I would probably pass on it. That's kind of my opinions on the Invade and Persuade tank. And yeah, there is definitely more discounts. I think just one last discount site, being Southern San Andreas. And yeah, I'm not going to go over Buckstar Burrito Performance. That's a vehicle from like day 1 of the game. Probably not really that worth covering. Okay, I think there's 2 more discounts for vehicles. And that should end the stream. Bro, what's going on with my game here? Like, is this a PS5 only issue or what the fuck? I don't remember ever having this like image loading issue on PS4. On the PS5, I don't know if that's a thing with that. You know, like it's backward compatibility or some shit. Okay, really, this is annoying here. What the fuck? Really, these ones just refuse to load, and like both of the rest of the discounts are the ones that don't want to load, of course. I have 2 connection, not like 1 connection or anything. Like, come on now. Okay, there it is. But yeah, Maxwell Vagrant, instead of being like 1,650,000 or something, I think this does have a trade price, by the way, which you do just by. But yeah. I think this has a trade price, and I think you obtain the trade price by, like, using it as a getaway vehicle. And you don't have to use it as a getaway vehicle, you just have to select it as a getaway vehicle. So that's how you get the trade price for any of the Diamond Casino Heist trade prices. But yeah, 40% off, a little under a million, so like 1.6, I believe, of a trade price. The Vagrant is actually pretty good performance, I'm pretty sure, for the off-road class. But yeah. For the off-road class, the Vagrant is number 1 for lap time, and then I think it's also number 1 top speed. But yeah, going off of roughly 1322 spreadsheet, for the off-road class, Maxwell Vagrant's number 1 lap time and top speed. However, though, in the off-road class, you can also use stuff like the Santos dirt bike. You can use like different dirt bikes in it as well. So it's kind of not that good in a sense, considering you can use like dirt bikes and stuff in off-road races too. But it's the best like full like off-road vehicle. It's the best number 1 full-on off-road vehicle you can use, not counting dirt bikes. And again, I think the Evron has a trade price too, which again, you just use that as like a getaway vehicle. You don't even have to actually use it though, you just have to select it as a getaway vehicle. And as long as you complete a heist with it as host, as the getaway vehicle, then you essentially get its trade price. So for trade price, I believe, instead of like 1.1, it's like 663,000, with its 40% off. I want to say this is off-road as well. Yes, it is. But yeah, obviously since the Vagrant's number 1 off-road, it's not going to be as good for off-road class. But yeah, the Everon is 10th place for lap time for the off-road class, and for top speed, the Everon is 7th place. So it still has pretty decent performance for the off-road class. But considering that the number 1 off-road vehicle is also on discount, I would definitely go for the Vagrant over the Everon. So because this is on discount, I kind of wouldn't recommend the Everon for this event week at least. So yeah, between these two, I definitely recommend the Vagrant. I kind of honestly don't recommend the Warstock discount that much, considering that you can't make like money with the vehicle even necessarily, unless the game like glitches out with the interaction menu, like I mentioned. And then there's a couple good discounts in the legendaries, so definitely some nice vehicle discounts this time. Only 1 weaponized discount though, and the 1 weaponized discount not that great, like I mentioned. You can't really make much legitimate money with the invading percentage tank even. But yeah. Almost hour 15 minutes, which is kind of better compared to my typical GTI event week stream, but yeah. There's just a lot to talk about in all of them, I feel, compared to Red Dead. Nice thing with Red Dead is it has the benefits section, so it makes it super convenient to talk about a lot of things at like once. Whereas GTA Online, there's like almost no like in-game stuff. Or it's not in-game like benefits section, it kind of has like all the stuff that it tells you about. So you have to like use the news wires, and it's like super annoying and stuff like that. Instead of having like an in-game way to show what I'm talking about much. Unless I go on like all kinds of different websites and stuff. But yeah. I think that's gonna finally be it for this stream. Next stream will be a Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition walkthrough. And they actually updated the game yesterday, I believe. So I think they just like made the like PC build. I think they gave the PC builds of the game to the console. So I think it's basically just the same version that PC had for like a few days now, I think, that it gave to the Definitive Edition games. But yeah, I think the build number is the exact same for the consoles now as it was for PC. When they like re-released the PC one due to like stuff in the files that they didn't want people to have access to, or something that they shouldn't have had in the like files in the first place when they fully released the game. So I think it just ties the console versions to the PC in terms of, like, those ones being fixed. So it's not like the actual, like, first major update, I don't think, for the trilogy, but yeah. Regardless, I'll be trying to play the trilogy again. Hopefully it doesn't fucking crash on me like Taxi Driver did, like, last time. But I'll probably start the, like, stream when I get to, like, 83 or, like, 85 taxi fares. Wherever I left off on, I believe. And then, yeah, I might also get something like hidden packages or something like that. But yeah, next stream will obviously be a Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition walkthrough stream. And then for Event Week stream, not until the Red Dead Online Event Week for Tuesday. So I have a few days where I can focus on just Grand Theft Auto 3, the Definitive Edition. So explain all that will finally be it for the stream. Hope you enjoyed.